James DeLacy here from Sweet Science of Fighting. This little fight breakdown, is perfect timing because if you're watching this tomorrow on Monday, we have Owen Scullion released on the Sweet Science of Fighting podcast from Bang Tao Muay Thai, who references Coach Woody in the podcast as well. So we actually get an insight into kind of what they're doing from that podcast and strength conditioning. Now we get a little insight into what they're doing from this video of Zhang Weili. Strength conditioning training there. Now it's a 5-minute clip. I haven't watched this. So we're just going to go through and basically talk about what they're doing, maybe why they're doing it. Again, nothing against fighters or coaches. Everything's just my opinion based on my experience, etc. So let's see. They're doing some lower body strength. Okay, lower body strength and power. Lower body strength and upper power? Or is it up? I don't know. Either way, it's full body session, it looks like. So we had some neck to start. Okay, so we've got a little complex. We've got trap bar. No, it's almost like a French contrast there. So we're going trap bar RDL. Let's see. Trap bar RDL for 6. 10, 30. Okay, so doing a complex. 30 seconds. So they're doing I think they're doing a cluster set with that. So it looks like, if I'm correct, yes. So a cluster set is essentially you're taking intra-set rest or rest within the set. Now there's some really good research on cluster sets surrounding, I guess you could say, maintaining rep velocity and I guess performance. So essentially, if you do say a set of 5 in a row, eventually your rep speed starts to drop as you get closer to that 5 reps, depending on how heavy it is, of course. And that incurs more fatigue. It's a good stimulus for getting strong, etc. But cluster sets, you say you do 1 or 2 reps, you rest 20 to 30 seconds, you do 1 or 2 reps, you rest for 20 to 30 seconds. And that way you're able to rest in between reps, maintain the quality of each rep, and theoretically that higher quality of each rep would mean higher strength gains or higher power gains. Now, within the research, we don't see that happen typically unless it's ballistic. So when we're looking at cluster sets of deadlifts, squats, etc. versus traditional sets, so if you did 3 sets of 6 versus 2 plus 2 plus 2 with 30 seconds rest in between, we see similar outcomes regarding strength, size, power after a certain amount of weeks for the intervention. With ballistic training, we see, so ballistics meaning jumping, Olympic weightlifting, etc. We see better improvements in strength, power, etc. from cluster style training. So it seems to have that kind of, it almost needs to be ballistic in nature for it to have that outcome. Now, that's not to say not to do cluster sets. I program cluster sets in pretty much every single Sweet Science of Fighting training program in the training app for the traditional lifts, for the reason that you don't have as much fatigue. So if I'm doing sets of 6 at 75-80% 1RM, that's pretty tough. If I'm doing it 2 plus 2 plus 2, it's going to be less fatiguing, and that way you can get the work done with high quality without worrying about, going into technical training and making it worse there. So almost like a 2-arm dumbbell swing to shoulder. It's actually quite a nice exercise, this one. It's like a modified kettlebell swing. It really loads the hammies. So they've done the deadlifts and they're loading the hammies again. Damn, it must be so damn hot there. Holding those bars must be killer with the sweat. Then we got some isometric holds at the top of the chin up position. This is a solid one too. So yielding isometrics. So you can even parlay that into, if you wanted to, you could do like a eccentric quasi isometric where you're holding that 90-degree position to failure. Some really good research around that as well. For doing more work, strength, hypertrophy, you're getting that longer muscle length, all sorts of stuff going on. But it's a nice little superset, especially for MMA when you've got grappling components too. Alright, so we've done cluster set deadlifts, we've done the swing with the chin up isometric, and now we're into some medicine ball work. Again, so you mentioned at the start, it's like a strength power session. So a lot of this is focused on the hips, which is a lot of that is your largest muscles where you're going to generate a lot of that force. So it's well intentioned. And then rotation of medicine ball throws. Medicine ball is definitely underused in most people's training. If you can spend more time throwing medicine balls, you're going to be a lot better off as a fighter. Scoop toss for distance now. Overhead. This is a solid one. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to see what else is going on in this. Suplex throws. Yep, and then we're just finishing with some more, I guess, rotational ab stuff. And I think that's it. So, solid session. What I like about this as well is there was only 5 exercises. And it was, 5 exercises, literally three kind of sets together. So you have the deadlift, you had these 2, and then you had 2 medicine ball throws, and then you have the rotational core stuff. So you can say 6 exercises. It's not loaded with a bunch of other random stuff. So as a fighter like this, who's having to probably train twice a day and of the technical stuff on top of this, it means that they can do the strength conditioning, they can develop or get a stimulus that they want out of it. And then after this, they're not going to feel so fatigued that they can't go train later in the day or tomorrow. And that's the whole idea of doing these and incorporating this. This is a pretty good job in terms of really managing the volume and managing the workload so they can actually come back into the gym and not bloody be so sore and fatigued that they can't do anything else. And I think a lot of very general, say, powerlifting and bodybuilding style splits, go into give you that issue, which is why you need to do something that is more geared towards athletes and more geared towards combat sports as well. So make sure you check out the links in the description. Lots of free stuff down there, and I'll see you in the next video.